Hey everyone, this is Lucid. Welcome back. I just had another turn post as I was in the middle of recording this series, so I don't know if we'll get to it this episode, but if you recall last episode, we had basically been looting Calum, and I think I told you I staled, so we will see if that's the case. Indeed I did. I staled this turn. I'll go ahead and go through diplomacy. So yeah, so basically Utgard is spamming Disease Demon, which actually is, it'll be okay against me. I need to remember that when I'm fighting him, because with Guard Commander, I should be fine, but without it, I'm going to be in trouble. But yeah, he says he's basically crippled with Astral Corruption, and Rylehn attacked him too. Yeah. And I'll let you read. Yeah, so basically Agartha is saying that Rylehn is doing a throne rush right now, and I didn't realize that. Oh fuck. Okay, so there's a lot I didn't tell you last episode. Sigh. Doing bad Let's Plays. Last turn, you'll have to go back and like click through. No, you're not gonna have to. I'm gonna pull it up. This is what I should have showed you last episode. This is the turn I staled. Now, part of me staling, and the reason I was turning my turn in late and needed an extension, is I was trying to coordinate diplomacy because Rylehn was actually 2 turns away from winning. They were gonna take this throne. They have an army of 700 on top of this, and then throne 99. Down here, they were also sieging this, and they had broken through the fort. Or maybe we're 1 turn away from breaking through the fort. So, and as soon as they took it, they would basically win, because they would claim it the next turn, and nobody could break through that quickly. So, basically we were about to lose the game, and you can see the orders I did put in was to move everybody off of this, so that next turn I could try to take it. But in reality, I wouldn't really get there in time unless something, bad happened. So I was trying to coordinate. Everybody was trying to coordinate because we had all realized there was going to be a throne rush. I'll go ahead and pull up the next turn. And what ended up happening was we had a few people save the game. Not me, obviously, since I staled like an idiot because I postponed the wrong game and didn't submit my turn until I thought it was going to host because I was trying to wait for the diplomacy thing to work out. But, as you can see here, I didn't have a scout on top, which, I could have just moved this guy on top sneaking. But yeah, Utgard won. And I talked with Utgard about what happened, and basically what happened is Rylehn had a bunch of Starspawn who were going to spam Master and Slave and other things, but they couldn't get to Utgard in time. They couldn't get to this in time, and because Astral Corruption was up, they couldn't all mass teleport here to support this army. And so Utgard, I don't know exactly the composition, but from looking at it, it seems to be basically Skelly spam plus Gam herdings, with maybe some other big buffs coming up. But anyway, with this, he defeated that 700-person army and prevented the game from ending immediately, because we were so close to the game ending. It was literally 2 turns away, and I wasn't sure I was able to stop it. And a lot of the things which I could do, like Wind of Death spam or anything, those are all blocked by Astral Corruption. But it turns out, in this case, Astral Corruption hurt Rylehn as much as it hurt me from being able to stop Rylehn, because while I would have, potentially teleported in and Wind of Death, Rylehn was a bit stuck because they couldn't teleport in to support the army. So anyway, the game almost ended, and it did not. It did not. And I can't remember if this fort is still under siege or not. I don't have spies in this part of the world. They tend to get killed when they run into Midgard, but yeah. And it sucks because I also was going to storm this fort, and that got delayed a turn. So anyway, we'll go through the turn real quick. So that... Message from Rylehn. In a long game, I really like your position now. I'm presuming you won't have any trouble closing out Calum, of course. Agarth is in trouble. It's now a 3-front war and doesn't appear to be doing particularly well on any of the fronts. Midgard's also solid in the rankings, but it's hard for him to win without any thrones. So, here we go. What am I going to try to do? I'm trying to fort up Calum as quickly as I can. You can see I've got this guy building a fort. He's got 2 months left. I'm going to fort up all of these provinces. Right now I'm starting to fort this up. From having all of Calum's land without my dominion in it, I'm getting a large amount of income. I'm also moving scouts into position this turn to get everything else starting to fort up. I'm building a fort here. And I need to take these. Now, the good news is I have broken through both of these capitals. Last turn, only this fort was broken through. This turn, they're both broken through. And, you know, also I'll say Calum was actually one of the first people to alert everyone to the throne rush possibility. And you could say he was doing it to try to get my armies off his capital. I don't think so. I think at this point he knows he's lost. But that's one of the things when you're thinking about diplomacy. Like, I told Calum before I was going to attack him, even though there was a nap. So, if you attack without announcing it, it's not a bad thing, and it's still something I will do. But, if it's a non-desperate war, like if it's a war I think I'll win, I like to announce it first, just so they can prepare, and it's kind of like an honorable way to fight. And if you do that, then the people you conquer will usually be more friendly to you as you're conquering them. And in this case, they helped alert me to the fact there was a throne rush going on. So that's good. Trying to think what else. Yeah, so we're basically going to be storming this. I'll run through the scripts real quick. It's basically the same army that stormed the other one. We're going to be doing Darkness, Skeletal Legion, Rigor Mortis. Excuse me, I yawned. This is the Holy 4 dude, so he's going to be doing Unholy Power, or Power of the Shadelands, which is going to make sure everybody is gets the +4 to attack. Then we will be doing Stygian Reigns also, and that will help if he's got a lot of non-magic weapons. And we'll basically be doing the same business here. We've got Wailing Winds. I can't remember if I'm doing Wailing Winds here. I think this guy is. Let me check. Yeah, he's doing Wailing Winds. So here we've got Darkness, Wailing Winds, Rigor Mortis, Skeletal Legion. Basically the same stuff. And so hopefully that will work. We're going to go ahead and move this guy off of this. I don't know. I'm still a little worried that Calum could raid me. And if he does, I don't want him to take a palisade down. So anyway, I'm moving my thugs into my palisades like this is 2 turns away from coming up. I'm also pre-positioning people to, like I'm moving a priest in to build a temple. So that next turn he can build it. I'm moving a priest here to build a temple. The way I'm going to approach temple building is if the province already has my dominion, I'm definitely putting a temple up. If it's like 1 or 2 enemy candles, I'm probably going to put a temple up. But if it's like, I don't know, these ones with a lot, like Calum's capital, I'm not going to put a temple up anytime soon because I'm more than happy to collect income from it until, until my dominion eventually flushes it out. But once my dominion starts flushing it out, I'm going to go ahead and put a temple up. So I'm going to try to prolong the period where it's under their dominion, and then as it switches to mine, it's going to switch very quickly, and the population will basically be immediately destroyed. Now an option is I could try to make a stone idol and try to keep my dominion out or my dominion low, and that might be worth it. It would give me about 400 gold a turn for longer. So that's definitely something I could look to do. It would probably be worth it. I don't know, can I forge? I can forge a stone idol. I have to get one like this guy can do it. So that's not a bad plan, actually. I may do that. I'm like 3 turns ahead in the real game. So just talking, you know, if any of you guys ever want to do a Let's Play, coming back and talking about your episodes after you've done it, but before you submit it, is a great way to find mistakes and like optimizations and things like that. Even just talking through what your strategy is, it helps you kind of refine what you're doing. So that's basically it for this episode. We're going to be storming both of these forts, so we'll see the battles there next turn. That will be pretty cool. Where's my... Okay, we're doing Ritual of Returning. This lady is going to run over here, and we're going to build a fort here with Living Castle, and then we're going to temple this. And what that will do is a few things. One is it's going to make my Dominion strength stronger over here, so that it will push farther into Rylehn. This will help kind of strengthen my area here and get my Dominion in this part of the map. It will also push it onto the small island, which will do two things. It will make Midgard less want to hold on to this land if I decide to attack him later, which I don't have a plan of doing, but anyway, it will do that. It'll lower their income to here too. And it will allow some of my internal, like right now my Dominion here, okay, it's 10. Here it's 7. So basically when I put this up, your fringe territories are going to have lower Dominion because they're kind of warring with the neighboring provinces. So as I basically push out, it's going to give me higher Dominion in the core of my empire, which is going to translate into more free spawn. So anyway, yeah, it's also going to really strengthen my foothold underwater. You still get free spawn underwater, and it's kind of cool. You get this like amphibious free spawn, which I think looks really cool. This is from Summon Shadows. I think this is one of the coolest parts of the game, is like small little details like, you know, you can summon shadow soldiers, and it will do it for almost any race. So in this case, we're getting all sorts of these aquatic things underwater. That's such a cool flavor in the game. I really love that developers took the time to do that. And like, this is really just flavorful. These aren't much different than normal shadow troops. Like, do I have any? I do down here. Basically kind of the same stats. An 11 paralyze. Yeah, it's actually a little worse. But it's flavor. With some of the nations, like giant nations, you actually get significantly better troops when you do Raise Dead and things like that, because you can get giant versions. I think it's really cool. I love that part about this game. I have a ton of money too, so I'm looking to spend that. My income, we'll take a quick look at my income graph, it's just through the roof. Like, it's twice as high as it's ever been all game. So that's a really good sign. Attacking Kalem was the best thing I could have done to have a chance to make it in, because if I stayed on this island, I was definitely going to lose. So I think that's it for this turn. Let's go ahead and see how that all plays out. We'll pull up the next turn. Turn 59. Okay, we cast Ritual of Returning. One of our Ritual of Returning casters got attacked by a horror. I believe this guy with Similith is already horror marked. And 3 float cats. Float cats actually, I believe, they have... Oh no. Okay, so these guys cannot horror mark you, which is nice. But you can see he's already horror marked some, so... if only he would Horde of Skeletons. Okay, goodbye. So, you can see he didn't die, but he just teleported home. We found a site, Forgotten Village. Oh shit, you know what I didn't show you guys? I think it happened last turn, but maybe the turn before. We site searched here, and then we moved here, and now we're searching again. So 2 turns ago, I found this site. The Academy underneath. It's one of the best underwater sites. It gives you 2 water gems, which is awesome. It gives me these guys, who are amphibious, water 3 mages. And these guys, who, if I don't know, they're not super useful for me, but anyway, kind of cool. They do have Gift of Water Breathing, which is pretty awesome. So if I had troops that can't go underwater, they could bring them. I don't really have them. All my troops are amphibious, so I think that's the main reason you would get this guy as opposed to the Hydromancer. But I'm definitely looking to get these. They can do Voice of Aspu all over my kingdom, or my empire, I think. When you're playing the Ghost, you have empires, not kingdoms. And then also he'll be putting Grip of Winter up in all my fights, which will be pretty cool, because that combines very, very nicely with Rigor Mortis. I'm a little worried about these guys later in the game, because this nation in particular has easy access to Undead Mastery. So does Ryleh. So both these guys can do it. I think the person I want to have go into the late game with me will be Midgard. Because at late game I will fare best against him. I'll fare least best against both of these. I'm not sure which one I'll do worse against. But I think at the moment taking Ryleh would be diplomatically better. Because he tried to throne rush, so nobody really wants him at the current size he is. Because... like if Astral Corruption comes down, he can do Gateway and easily Throne Rush again. So, also, here, let's go back one turn. I didn't do Diplomacy. I think I sent an important message last turn. Okay, going back one turn. I sent a message to Ryleh. Yeah, I'm not sure... if it's in my interest to attack you, since you might work out deals distance yourself from thrones, but please consider our nap no longer in effect, will expire in 3 turns. If you try to throne rush again, I don't want to be held up by diplomatic conscience. And then I say to Utgard, let's consider working together to push back Ryleh before you agree to a nap. So I'm basically telling Utgard, don't agree to peace with Ryleh, we can attack him together. And back to our current turn. So, a bunch of good things. We found a Forgotten Village. This is going to give me 1 Blood Slave. I'm not sure how I'm going to use the Blood Slaves I have. One way I could use it is if I choose to do Communions, which I'm not currently choosing to do. This guy can do Reinvigoration and clean out Fatigue at the end of the script. So, not sure. Don't know what we're going to do with our Blood Slaves, but... Blood Slaves, you can't really break into blood easily as Lemuria, though I'm told players have done it if they have a big enough empire, but if you have a big enough empire where you can do it, then you're probably going to win anyway. So it would be more for shits and giggles. Have I covered everything? No, I haven't covered anything. Okay, so there's a battle here. Oh, that's like a legit battle. He was pinging me. I wonder if this guy was, like, diseased. Nope, that was like a legit ping. I didn't even notice that. Okay. So, these are Kalem's forces. He's got a lot of these mages who are... I think they're Death 1, Air 1, and then with a random. Yeah. So Dust to Dust will do a lot of damage, but if they fatigue out before my ghosts get in range, I will take much fewer losses. Yeah, and I think that's what's happening. They're... Yeah. Yeah, basically they dive in. I'm not getting in range, and instead they're just doing skeleton casting. So he would have been better putting his guys on Guard Commander. And then... Oh, I realized I may have just had some audio contamination. But, yeah, he would have been much better putting his guys on Guard Commander, and then that way my guys would get in close, then he could spam out Dust to Dust. Because as it is, the Animate Skeletons is not going to do anything. Okay, so that was this battle. And you can see I lost the Shadow Tribune, which was unfortunate, and only 70 dudes. So, not bad at all. Kalem lost a bunch of stuff. He lost 30 mages. Yeah. And we have a battle here, and this is Kalem's capital, so we're going to pause it real quick. This is a pretty cool battle. We've got his Pretender, who is Air 5. Oh wait, no. That's a... Oh, he's got 2. So here's his Pretender. It's Astral 7, Nature 4. He's got a Rune Smasher, and he's got a bunch of Astral Pearls. So we'll see what he intends to do with them. We have a Queen of Air Elementals behind him, who's a Prophet. I love prophetizing these queens, by the way. They're really good, too. And then we have this queen here. We have a Sea Troll. And then we have a bunch of these guys some of these guys, and then a swath of these earth ones, so he can make... These are kind of cool. They give you resources in the province you're in. But that's it. It's not a very big army, so we'll see what he is going to do. Okay, we have our first ones coming out. We have Rigor Mortis go down. We have Stygian Rains coming out soon. Okay, there goes Darkness. Unholy Protection. Okay, Stygian Rains just came down, which is very good for me. Okay, there went Wailing Winds. He does have Light of the Northern Star up, which I think his god had to cast. It doesn't look like I've dropped anti-magic this fight. There goes Skeletal Legion. I definitely haven't cast anti-magic yet. Okay, I just saw it. He's preparing to cast Master and Slave, which is a battlefield-wide convert. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and do team-colored squares. And it's probably about to go. Oh, I think I have been doing Unholy Protection, though, so some of these guys should be... No, not at all. And nobody has magic resistance buffed. Okay, there went Master and Slave. And he got... He didn't get any of my good dudes, it doesn't look like. But he got about... I would say that's about 10, 12, 13% of my troops with that. So it was a pretty good cast. If I had anti-magic, it would have been a lot better, but I didn't. And it looks like Darkness, my guy who cast Darkness, passed away. So Darkness is off, but I still fortunately have Rigor Mortis up. That's one of the nice things about not putting all your eggs in one basket. Like, if you have one guy who casts all your battlefield spells, if they die, the battle can swing in a totally different way. And our ghosts have made it into the back line, and they're killing all the mages. All the mages, I'll pause it, are fatigued out. And the hordes of Lemuria pour forth. And there goes their god, and the rest of their mages. And for all intents and purposes, that is the end of Calum. You can see it was pretty expensive. We lost about 250 troops, but we killed so much more. Including both his queens and the Sea King and basically everything. And if I didn't kill it, it dies anyway when you siege a fort. You can't run from a fort siege. So those were pretty big battles. Yeah, I don't think I saw Wrathful Skies. That would have been pretty cool. It would have helped, but I don't think it would have saved him. And now basically the mission is, I know most everybody's caught up trying to finish off Agartha. So I need to take Calum as quickly as possible, and then be ready to attack somebody before basically the time runs out. So my moves are, we're basically going to be running all of these guys down here and try to crack through this fort. I can probably do it in one turn. It's only 250 wall strength, and there's not that many people in here. Meanwhile, we're going to move the second big army in here, and then we're going to move this thug in to take this land so I can start getting its income. And that's basically the plan. Yeah, we're going to just run in here, nab this, and yeah, we're also going to be moving thugs on top of this fort, which will pin in all the troops so I don't have to worry about raiding. And yeah, I think that's it. Global enchantments are all coming up. I'm also thinking now that I probably want to attack Rylehn. I'm thinking... until Ryleh has Undead Mastery, I'm going to have a very good time against him. I do have some vulnerabilities, like Assassins still can kill me. So I have to kind of think about that. But I think I can work through all of it. Yeah, I think I've got it covered. But I can break through these forts really quickly. So I think I'm going to jump in, storm them, or try to take up basically all the border provinces, and then start raiding. One thing to think about when I do that is I'm only going to want to... Essentially, I'm going to be sacrificing some of my immortals because they'll go insane. So in the long run, they're not going to be useful, but probably with like 4 or 5 immortals, hopefully, I can take all the ocean, which I think will be worth it for me, but we'll see. Some things I probably need to get that I probably should not be moving big armies without, I can cast, but I'm going to actually... Getting this is really key. I'm going to need this Hydromancer. The thing I can't really go without is going to be Shark Attack, which is going to be really good against Rylehn Chaff, because I believe whenever a living being is wounded, that includes Ryleh's stuff, and it may actually include mine, I'm not sure. I don't know whether the flag is for inanimate or not undead. So anyway, what we'll find out. I think I want to have Shark Attack up, and then Friendly Currents is also really good. So Shark Attack obviously can be cast underwater. Friendly Currents is, I believe, here, and this can be cast underwater. So that's something I will want to control. And also, Grip of Winter can be cast underwater. So, a lot of the normal stuff I want to cast, I cannot, like, Wailing Winds doesn't work underwater, Wind of Death doesn't work underwater, Darkness doesn't even work underwater, even though it's not a great tool against Ryleh. Skeletal Legion, I believe, still can, and that will be pretty good. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I would normally do, I can't do underwater, but some of the stuff I can, and I need to bring a Water Mage for it to work. So finding this site actually is really great for getting at Ryleh. And hopefully, I'll get my first guy this turn. Hopefully I have 2 when I attack. That way I can do Shark Attack plus something else. Anything else I should be doing right now? No, we're basically moving in to finish him off. I don't expect much resistance. I think we've seen the good fights with Calum so far. And the rest will just be, like, even these 2, they weren't that great. The battle in Calum's fort was pretty cool. But, like, this was the best fight, the fight we had here in Frigga. I think this will just kind of be cleaning it up. The good news is when I get this, I get 3 air gems, which is going to be huge. Shock resistance on my sacreds, which will be nice. It'll mean my mages are going to be much less susceptible to Thunder Strike stuff when I fight Midgard later. And almost most importantly, I get 3 more death gems a turn and 1 more earth gem. But the 3 death gems is going to be huge. My death income is already at 41. It's going to be hopping up to 44 when I have this. So pretty big. And yeah, I'm also getting very close to Conjuration 8. I will have that in 2 turns. And when I have it, that will allow me to do Well of Misery, which, and you can see me clicking around with hotkeys. In case you don't know, you can hit the hotkey associated with your path, and it will condense the list. Like every time you hit D for death, it will do it. And then if you hit S, it will do astral. And then A, it will do air, E, earth, N, nature. Anyway, but I will get Well of Misery in just a hot minute. And I have to time when I cast it. I don't want everybody to be free agents, but the kind of cancer we have coming down now, like Astral Corruption's really cancerous, Well of Misery's already up. So yeah, I'm not super worried about people focusing me because of 2 gem generating globals, but it will definitely attract more suspicion, so better if people are locked up in wars. The other thing I'll note is we are moving, as I mentioned, my queen into this province where we're going to do a living castle on this province, and then we were going to cast Well of Misery. That's her, it's going to be her sequence. I'm trying to give her Nature Gem, so she might cast Swarm if she gets assassinated by horrors. Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you're enjoying. I think my chances of winning were very low when I was just stuck on this island. Then I got a little bit of a foothold up here, and that helped me a good bit. But really, attacking Calum is what turned this all around. And now I've gone from a rather small chance of winning to having a pretty good chance. I'm definitely one of the top contenders at this point. Though, really everybody, like, Utgard could win, Rylehn could win, I could win, or Midgard could win. And it's very rare you play a multiplayer game where there's 4 really strong candidates this far into the game. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. And I will catch you all in the next episode. Thanks for watching.